Alright, let's go on another episode of Project America. This one, obviously by the title, is a cost analysis to grow these four plants. They're about a month old. So I want to do a breakdown of how much exactly does it cost to grow using the Kratky hydroponics method, which is Kratky doesn't use any pumps. There's no pumps. There's no water moving or anything. It's just a bucket of nutrients and your plants. It's a beautiful thing. I did these indoors under the grow light. If you haven't seen the video, the indoor versus the outdoor comparison, check it out. The link is in the description. But anyways, this is going to be the cost analysis to grow these, not including, because you got lights and a pH meter and all that stuff, not including that, just how much does it cost to grow these this month. So the reason I'm doing this is I was watching M.I. Gardner's he did a video on, he called it the profitability of indoor hydroponics, and I thought his video was kind of flawed, the way he come up with the costs, because he did it by weight, and you can't really weigh greens. People don't sell greens by weight, and I think his was way off, because according to him, he's like, well, it cost me more money to grow it than it would if I bought it at the store, which I think was very incorrect. But anyways, great channel. Link is in the description of his channel as well, so you can watch that video. Not saying anything bad about his channel or anything, because his channel is fantastic, but I think that one was just flawed. So anyways, let's run down the cost of these. Now, this is Black Seeded Simpson, and over here, this is Radina. I think they're both organic seeds. Actually, this was a Ferry Morse, and this was a Seeds of Change seed. I've had great luck with them. Grew them last year outdoors, so I'm kind of familiar with how it's going to go. I know the nutrient consumption of the life cycle of these plants from doing it outdoors. So here's the indoor breakdown. And I did this because, one, I wanted to know, and I want you to know if you're going to get into this, whether it's worth it. But in the long run, just producing your own food at home, that it's not covered in pesticide and it's not trucked halfway across the country or from Mexico to your house, it's really worth it, whatever the cost, to have fresh greens. Because now here at our house, like the other day, we had sandwiches, so I just came in here and clip. I clipped about 5 or 6 leaves off and rinsed them off and threw them on the sandwich, and that's as fresh as it gets, picked right from the garden, right from my bedroom, which is pretty funny because most single guys, you'd be like, oh yeah, your house is a little stinky, or typical bachelor pad. But when you come into my bedroom smells like basil, because I have these basil plants right behind me. Anyways, that's a whole different show. So here's how it goes down. I used Botanicare Grow formula, and I used 600 parts per million. So 1.5 ounces of Botanicare Grow got me to the 600 parts per million, and that is $1.09 of that nutrient solution. And I didn't add the water in either, because, well, I don't pay for water here. I forgot my landlord pays for it, so I guess it don't matter. The rock wool, which are these little spun volcanic rock cubes that you put the seed in, those are 13 cents each, times 4 is 52 cents. The net cups, which is the little plastic cup that this rock wool sits in, they're 12 cents each. It's my local store. Times 4 is 48 cents. The seeds, I mean, if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, you have 500 seeds in this Radina pack for $3.50. It works out to just like a half a cent or something, so I didn't even include them in there. And then the lights, I got a 4 24-watt bulbs. I did it on an estimated average of 10 cents per kilowatt hour. I didn't bother getting my electric bill to see exactly how much my kilowatt hour is. I think ours is even cheaper than that. But anyways, I just did the 10 cents per kilowatt hour average, like most of the country is. And that come out to $3.50 to run the lights 12 hours a day for 1 month. Now, I took the lights, and since technically there are 8 plants growing, because I have 4 basil plants and 4 lettuce plants, I took that $3.50 and I divided that by the number of plants, so I could put a per plant cost on it. And that gives a grand total under the lights, including the lights, of $3.84 to produce these 4 plants, or 96 cents each for the 1 month. Now you got to think about it. Next month, these are going to continue growing the same solution, so technically they'll run for the cost of the light, because I've already, you know, made the investment in the net cup and the rock wool. So next month it'll go cheaper. But anyways, so that was 96 cents per plant to grow under the lights. And if I grew them outside, which these will grow very well outside, but obviously at this point, 30 days, it wouldn't be this big. Look at my other video. It'd take several months for them to get this big. But if I grew them outside, that'd be 52 cents a plant would be the cost. Okay, now I know you have to factor in, you know, your pH meter and your ppm meter and, you know, things like that. The buckets I get for free are deli, a local bakery throws them away, so they're just like, yeah, take all you want. So you got to factor that in over the long run. You know, the cost of the lights, like this light behind me is kind of overkill, but I was just in an itch to get started, and I didn't want a shop light, so I bought that, and it was like, I think I paid 85 bucks for it, 85 or $90. So, you know, you got to factor in all that over time. But just to break it down to every month, what's it going to cost me to produce a plant at 96 cents growing it indoors is quite the bargain. Because, like I said, my experience last year is the life cycle of these plants is going to consume all these nutrients. They'll survive on this 3 gallons of nutrients. And I had that experience last year growing them outdoors, even though technically outdoors a little rain would get in, and you know, so, but I never touched the solution last year. I set it, I grew it, and when the plants bolted, I just, you know, dumped the solution out. Plants were done. So I know that that's what it's going to cost to produce. Now, the other big question is, how much do you need for your family to keep you constantly in greens? And that's something I've got to figure out this year, because last year we had 4 people in my family, and I grew 40. I got a little ambitious. I grew 40 lettuce plants outdoors, and we had so much lettuce that people were like sick of it. But 40 actually worked. It seemed like overkill, but when it came time to make a giant salad, those 40 plants would go quick. Like these plants right here, if I was to make a salad out of them, let's see if I can pick one up without injuring it. This is the smallest of the bunch right here. You can see if you made a salad out of it, you're going to consume pretty much that entire plant. Like, I'm willing to bet, right now I've got 2 people in my family this year. If we wanted to make a big salad, I'd be willing to bet we'd have to use 3 of these to make a decent, you know, I'm talking a big salad. But still, even if I chopped all 4 of these down and ate them for dinner tonight at $3.84, that's a bargain. That's an absolute bargain, because it's the freshest fresh, no pesticides, no GMO stuff, no games, just fresh produce. So $3.84 for 4 plants, or if I was doing it outside, $2.09. That's a bargain. So if you're thinking about getting into hydroponics, start with the Kratky, because you don't need all the pumps, you don't need the aeration stones, you don't need all these tanks and pipes and all that crap. You just need something to hold some nutrient solution, some rock wool, some net cups, some nutrients, something to check the pH, something to check the parts per million, and a place to put it outside, let it grow. A little germination tray, you know, you get these little seed starter trays. Get your seeds germinating, you're good to go. You're growing fresh produce. So I was pretty pleased with that analysis. Like I said, 96 cents per plant to grow indoors under a light. And then next month that'll go down, because I won't have the nutrient investment or anything. Or I don't even know if I should add that in. It's just the cost of electricity next month, I think. I don't know, maybe break it down, the life cycle of the plant. If I did the whole life cycle of the plant and broke it down by this formula, then it's just going to be like, it's going to come out to pennies to grow this stuff. So Kratky Hydroponics, growing it yourself, indoors, outdoors, definitely worth it. Stop buying produce that's trucked halfway across the country. Some of the produce comes from Mexico. I mean, it's ridiculous when you can do it right here. I'm doing it in my little 2-bedroom apartment right here in my bedroom, growing fresh greens, growing fresh basil. And I'm going to add tomatoes, I'm going to add squash. I'm going to see just how much stuff I can grow in this little area in my bedroom, in my 2-bedroom apartment. So comment, rate, subscribe, share my videos, ask questions, correct things that I got wrong. Let's get the dialogue going and stop relying on grocery stores and everybody else to feed your family when you can do it yourself.